Teacher Talking Sports, what does, what do, how we live. And today, ESPN came out with their 2025 NFL rank where they predicted the top 100 players for this season. You could check out the article, of course, on ESPN, but instead of going through the whole article, I'm going to name 10 of the biggest snubs from their list. Now, ESPN also posted an article where execs named some of the biggest snubs, so I did not want to repeat any of those guys. So the ones that the execs and scouts, I forget who else was involved, named as snubs are Joe Alt, Jonathan Grenard, Vita Vea, Devonta Smith, Nnamdi Matabuke, James Cook, Brian Burns, J.C. Horn, Jalen Ramsey, and DeForest Buckner. Before I looked on that, I was definitely going to include James Cook, Devonta Smith, and Nnamdi Matabuke, but since they were included on ESPN's list, I'm not going to. But here's 10 others listed in alphabetical order by last name. Starting with wide receiver Davante Adams. Yes, Davante Adams is on the wrong side of 30. Turns 33 on Christmas Eve, but is coming off yet another 1,000-yard season. 85 catches for 1,063 yards, 8 touchdowns in 14 games with the Raiders and Jets. He's had 6 seasons in his career with double-digit receiving touchdowns, 103 receiving touchdowns for his career. Now he's joining a Rams team where him and Puka Nacua will be one of the best wide receiver combos in the NFL. And also I want to mention the Panthers and Saints didn't have a representative, so I want to include one Panther and one Saint. So the one Panther I'm including is Derek Brown, listed at 320 pounds, right? In 2023 as a Pro Bowler, he had 103 total tackles. I mean, imagine that from a 320-pound guy. Incredible. Now, only played in one game last season due to injury, but I'm expecting him to rebound, still just 27 years old. And I think Derek Brown definitely had a strong case to be on here. Rashawn Gary, edge rusher with the Green Bay Packers. First-time Pro Bowler this past year. Gary has accumulated 32 sacks over the last 4 seasons for the Packers. Also has 77 quarterback hits over that time. Gary is pretty much the team's top pass rusher, coming off a career best season, first round pick in 2019. He's also just 27, turns 28 on December 3rd. Washington Commanders, Frankie Louvu, linebacker, edge rusher, coming off a career best season where he was named a second team All-Pro, 99 tackles with 8 sacks. The previous 2 seasons had over 100 tackles in each, 20.5 sacks over the last 3 seasons. Has 16 pass defenses over the last 3 seasons, including 7 last year. I mean, I was really surprised that Louvu didn't make it on the top 100. My Saint I'm going to include is Eric McCoy, center. Made the last 2 Pro Bowls, although this last year he made it with just 7 games played. But the ESPN's 100 best players only had one center. Of course, that was Creed Humphrey. If they had a second, McCoy definitely had a strong case. Again, just played 7 games, but in those 7 games, Pro Football Focus rated him as gave him the highest grade at the center position. So the Saints surely hope he remains healthy, as they are a team devoid of much top-level talent. 15 quarterbacks were included. I wanted to include one in my snub, so I went with Bo Nix of the Denver Broncos, 12th overall pick last year. Kind of surprised me, not thinking that he couldn't have been a pro, steady pro, but he performed better than I thought he would. 66.3 completion percentage, 3,775 yards, 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. He also added 4 rushing touchdowns on the year for a surprising Denver Broncos team that reached the playoffs. Of course, their defense is absolutely stellar, but Bo Nix definitely giving the fans probably the most hope at quarterback really since John Elway, at least for a young prospect. Obviously, they had Peyton Manning at the later stages of his career. But next, I'm going to go with Chop Robinson, the 21st overall pick by the Dolphins in the 2024 NFL Draft. You look at his numbers, and it's nothing stellar. He actually just started one game on the season, had 6 sacks and 14 quarterback hits, but he did finish fifth in Defensive Rookie of the Year voting. And if you look at his pass rush rates, especially towards the second half of the season, they rated amongst the best in the NFL, rookie, veteran, whoever. So, the Dolphins have a bunch of edge rushers. The Bradley Chubbs, the Jalen Phillips, who just can't stay healthy. So Chop Robinson, I'm expecting a big season from him. This guy is completely contingent on whether he could stay healthy. That is Andrew Thomas of the New York Giants, looking like, fourth overall pick in 2020. He's looked like one of the best offensive tackles in the league when healthy. Unfortunately, the past 2 seasons, he's only played 16 of a possible 34 games. Completely remains to be seen if he could stay on the field for the New York Giants, who, of course, have had a subpar offensive line for seemingly the past 10 years. And having Andrew Thomas for most of that season could definitely help him out there. Next, let's go with the ageless wonder, Bobby Wagner, Washington Commanders, turned 35 on June 27th, entering his 14th season, a 10-time Pro Bowler, and this past season was a second-team All-Pro. Also was last year. 3 times led the league in tackles, but every one of his 13 seasons has over 100 tackles. So, still a guy who really isn't losing much of the way of skill as he gets older. Another guy, I get that you might think he might decline a bit while you don't put him on the top 100, but I definitely think he deserves the spot. And let's end with Kyren Williams of the Los Angeles Rams. These past 2 seasons have been excellent for the Rams running back. 2,443 yards and 20 rushing yards and 26 rushing touchdowns, along with 5 receiving touchdowns. Led the league in rushing yards per game in 2023. His yards per carry dipped a bit last year, but still a guy who has a penchant for finding the end zone. Kyren Williams, the last guy I'm going to name. So, yeah, let me know in the comments which of these guys should have been on the top 100. You could also talk about the guys that ESPN mentioned as snubs as well. To me, Devonta Smith was really a no-brainer to have on the top 100, but for some reason they didn't. But yeah, you can check out the entire list on ESPN. Good read. Of course, I could have shared the video, the article, and talked about things I disagree with, like I'm sure other people are, but for this, I just wanted to include the snubs. Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.